Manchester United have a midweek fixture. That is not something I've said often this season. We have been playing only one game a week, and it's about time we started having midweek fixtures. We're looking forward to this game. Man United are playing against Newcastle, so we have to do the preview for the game. In terms of the team news, we can only go with what we know so far based on the last game. There has not been a press conference, so we'll know more about it in the press conference. But some things are certain: Dogu, Delete, and Mount may not be available for this game. Dogu will be available around April. Delete is also expected around April, and Mount is expected mid-March. So I think this comes sooner for those three. Lisandro is still a doubt. He had a calf injury, and that calf injury was supposed to put him out for 1 or 2 weeks. I think he won't be available for this game. Maguire and Shaw came off the last game. I think they had minor issues. Shaw came out as a precaution. He got a knock, and they decided there was no need to risk him, so he was substituted. I think he's not in a position to play 2 games a week, so I think the manager might decide to rest him for this game. Maguire came off towards the last minutes. Carrick was asked about it, and he said he had an illness. So if he had an illness, I think he will be recovered for the next game. I don't think it's any issue. In terms of the game, if you can see the game, it's between 3rd and 13th. Newcastle have not been in very good form recently, especially in the Premier League. They have been good in the Champions League, beating Karabakh 6-1, and I think both home and away. So it was an 8-1 or 8-2 win. So that shows they are very much in form. Man United have been very good. They have won most of their games recently, and this has given them the kind of form that has them 3rd in the table. If you look at Newcastle, you also have to understand they are underperforming their XG. They should have 6 more points if you consider how good they have been at home attacking wise, but for some reason they are not very good defensively, and that's where Man United can take advantage of this game. Looking at the team form, Man United have won 4 of the last 5 games, only drawing against West Ham. They have not had the best of games in the last 3 games. It has been a struggle, but they have found a way to get results. And at this point of the season, that's all you can hope for. Newcastle have won 3 of the last 5 games. 2 of those have been against Karabakh in the Champions League, where they won those games 9-3. So they won that game comfortably. But Karabakh is not exactly the opposition you'd expect from a Premier League team. In the last 2 Premier League games, they have lost against Everton recently at St James Park, and lost against Man City 2-1. They had also beat Aston Villa 3-1 at their place. Aston Villa, who have been in the worst of forms, they are dropping. The way they are dropping, it's so fast. You can see we had 11 points. They had 11 points ahead of Man United, and Man United have been able to claw back all those points until Man United are ahead of them on goal difference. So you can't, judging from this team form, you can see that Newcastle are not exactly in the form you'd expect them to be. But the head-to-head speaks differently. Newcastle we won the last game at Old Trafford. We beat them 1-0. Patrick Dogu goal, sublime finish. But since then, last season they beat us home and away. They beat us at their home 4-1. The other game was 2-0. The previous season, we beat them at home 3-2, but they won at St James Park 1-0. So generally, they tend to do very well at St James Park, and this is something that the team should be wary about. If you look at this head-to-head, where it's only the home games, Man United, you have to go back until, I think, 17th October 2020 for the last time Man United beat Newcastle. In these other fixtures, the last 6 fixtures that you can see here at St James Park, Newcastle won 4 of them, drew 1, and lost 1. So they tend to do very well at home, and this is going to be a much difficult fixture. Recently, we have done well against most of the top teams. This season has been about rectifying some of these records. We have done well against Crystal Palace, who are winning most of their games against us in recent times. We have done the same against Brighton. We have also done the same against Liverpool. Even Tottenham, that beat us so much last season, we are able to turn the tide this season. So this is a game that Man United can win if they have the intensity, not the way they played against Crystal Palace in the first half. If you look at that first half against Crystal Palace, if we put in the same level of performance against Crystal Palace in the first half, Newcastle won't let us get away with it. They have a better team in terms of the fullbacks, even the strikers. They can be able to put in those crosses and punish us for any lapse in concentration we have. The team form, looking at the lineup, this is the lineup I think that will play this game. Shaw won't be risked, so I expect Mazrui will start as the left back. Maguire and Euro might continue. If Maguire is fit to start this game and the illness is something that he will be able to recover from quickly, then Maguire and Euro partnership will continue, because I don't expect Lisandro Martinez to be back. Lamens in goal, that's a given. Dalot will start as a right back. He started as a right back in all the games that Michael Carrick has been here. There won't be any change with that. In the midfield, I don't expect any changes with Casemiro and Maino continuing in midfield. They also need to do better, because the last two games that they have played, the midfield has not been good enough. Especially Casemiro has been losing the ball, the passes has been misplaced. Maino has not been having such a big impact, especially in the last game. In the Crystal Palace game, he didn't do well enough, so they have to up their game, because Newcastle have a better midfield. They're playing Jolinton, I think, Tonali, and Ramsey, and that midfield can run us ragged if we don't fix the issues that we have had in the last 2-3 games. Cunha will start as the left wing, Bruno Fernandes as the 10. Bruno had a very good game against Crystal Palace in terms of the goal contributions. He had a goal and an assist. And this time, I think Ahmad should start this game. One of the things that I noted against Crystal Palace is the intensity went down. In terms of pressing, some of these games, especially when you have to play away, you have to go take the game to the opponents. You have to have a good pressing, and we need more pressing, because Ahmad is a very good, it's a pressing monster. He never stops running. He does well defensively and an attack. And even in the last few minutes that Ahmad came onto the game, he created 2 chances for Zaxi. Zaxi needed to take them better. He also had a very good shot on goal that Dean Henderson had a very good save. So I think this is a game we have to just alter a bit, because we need to go away and have a good performance. And in the last good performances that we've had against Man City and against Arsenal, especially Arsenal away, this front three of Ahmad, Mbeumo, and Cunha had a very good game. So Cunha, Mbeumo, and Ahmad should start as the front three. Mbeumo trying to destabilize the defense. Mostly, I think Sesko, if he comes in the second half, he can have his chances. But starting this game, especially in that first half, you need to take control of the game. And one of the ways we can take control of that game is by having 3 people who are mobile and who can press in that game. And the last time we didn't have that much pressing, and I think we gave Crystal Palace too much space. And when you give a team, any Premier League team, the space we gave them in the first half will be punished. Crystal Palace didn't take their chances enough. In fact, if they had taken their chances in that first half, this would have been an entirely different game. So that means that this game against Newcastle has to be played differently in terms of how we approach the game. We can't sit back. We can't give them enough spaces to make decisions, because they'll punish us. And the last 5 games at St. James Park, we have lost most of them. I think we have lost 4 of the last 5. I think, or lost 3, drawn 1, and lost 3, drawn 1, and won 1. So in the last 5 games, is that the record? It's a hard place to go to. Even teams like other teams struggle at St. James Park, not at the current form, because at the current form they have lost 3 of the last games. In fact, under Eddie Howe, they have not lost 3 home games. This is the first time they have lost, so they are vulnerable. So if you have a fast start, if you press them, I think we can have a chance where if we score, then they have the doubts, and when they have the doubts, we can be able to take control of this game. This is very important, to have a good start. One of the things you can't let Newcastle do is score fast. You saw how hard the game was against Crystal Palace once they scored fast, and if not for that red card and penalty, then it could have been a different game. So let's see how this one goes. Hopefully we can take advantage of Newcastle poor form at home and make it 4 wins in a row for them, 4 losses in a row for them, and we continue to build up into Europe. Every game is important. As long as we keep winning our games, then we keep on securing that Champions League spot. See you in the next one. Thank you.